Welcome back to Tough Minute Faith. We're already having a good time on here.
Oh, yeah.
We have a guest today.
Yeah.
Ross.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thanks.
I just met you, and
I know.
I'm already enjoying the conversation.
I appreciate it. Like, long-time listener, first-time guest.
Okay.
So.
We never heard that before.
Yeah.
You've already jumped. So last week, it was just Nick and I. We didn't have a guest.
Yeah.
The guest had something come up. And Nick was sharing that he had a pedicure, so we've been talking about that.
Yeah.
You just mentioned you've never had one?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So
then he has a
Guys gotta
purse.
get out
Do you have
more.
a purse?
Yeah, I do. I do not have a purse.
purse, okay.
I have a satchel sometimes.
Yeah, okay.
See?
So,
Satchel.
or a fanny pack if necessary.
No fanny
So,
packs.
They're
We're
coming
out.
back. Fanny packs are.
Are they?
Yep.
Yeah, I see
I'm
guys
out.
with them all the time.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
You're
when
not
you go to Disney or Universal, sometimes it's key that
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to hold everything, and you don't want to carry a backpack all the day and get sweaty.
Well, you got 5 kids.
Yes.
I mean, you might have to put some of their stuff in there.
Yeah, to carry emotional support toys if,
Right.
if need be.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, I met Ross, a couple years ago?
It's been, I'm starting my 4th round of Fight Club.
Are you
so,
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I stopped a round, but I'm
Okay.
just getting ready to start and actually be a squad leader. So, yeah.
Oh,
It's
really?
been-
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I met you. We did Fight Club. I think we both got drugged there by other people, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We did,
Yeah.
but man, it was such a great time.
It was. It was
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, 10 weeks of Bible working out.
Not your normal grandfather's Bible study.
Yeah.
That's how I
Yeah.
put it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
So,
I remember when you went through that, Nick, it was pretty impactful for you. Like,
yeah, it was
we
it was
talked
really
a lot
good.
through it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they had some rules, and then, man, I just met some friends.
Yeah.
That was a cool part.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of good connections. A lot of men being men, and then we were at Post Road Christian Church doing it.
Yeah.
Then I went to Northview with another fire guy on the fire department I'm with.
Cool.
And then, crazy enough, he branched off, and he's at Heartland now.
Okay.
And he's the one that's running it there. And my wife, crazy enough, this is why I don't believe in coincidences. God put him there and said, "Hey, you need to do some small groups." That popped up, and I saw his name. Was like, reached out. I was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I need some squad leaders." I was like, "I'm in. Do it."
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we met, and then
Okay.
we just kind of kept in touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think either one of us reaches out probably once every couple of months, and
Yeah,
just kind of see how
it's
life's
5
going.
kids. I've been
Yeah.
pretty busy with
Yeah,
life.
exactly.
So yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. You have 5 kids.
So 5 kids, 4 dogs, 3 spiders, 2 crickets. One lizard. No, I'm just kidding on everything. But I do have 4 dogs, so it's busy life. I do
Yeah.
have some kids with special needs, so a lot of running around with.
That's why we became such good friends.
Yeah.
It's like I just take one more special needs.
Yeah,
Thanks, Nick. Yeah, welcome.
I know how to talk.
Yeah.
yeah.
Whisper. But no, I work for the Indianapolis Fire Department.
Okay.
So I've been doing that for about since 2013. So
Nice.
yeah,
11
12
years,
years.
12
yeah,
years?
yeah, 12,
Yeah.
11 years. It goes by fast.
Yeah.
What's
so,
the most rewarding part about being a firefighter?
oh, man?
Get to carry an axe.
Man, there's part of it. I mean, it's just serving my community.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anything of it. I've just been always I've realized that my place is servitude.
Mm-hmm.
I've spent 22 years. I just recently retired from the military.
Okay.
So I just did that. So just when I came back from a deployment in 08, I was like, it's time to serve. And that's what I wanted to do. And I was trying to be a cop.
Yeah.
So I figured, it'd be the same like overseas. Carry a weapon. People hate me,
Yeah. Yep.
And I met my wife, and my father-in-law spent 40 years on IFD.
Okay.
So he said, "You don't be a cop."
Yeah.
So he showed me around. And I was like, "This is what I get to do.
Yeah.
I get to go cook, work out,
Yeah,
watch
play
movies,
pickleball.
play pickleball, play marbles. Hang out. We hang out with, very much. I don't go to work. I go and hang out with a firehouse family.
Yeah.
And that's what we are. We're a firehouse family. And then it's been great, and I've
Yeah.
loved it ever since I know that's what I've been called to do. I've been doing it.
Yeah. We've had a ton of firefighters.
We haven't
on here.
had any cops.
Never had a police officer on here. Because we had even
I
was
don't
Mayor
think anybody's
Buckley,
friends
was
with
he
cops, right?
was he a firefighter?
What's that?
The mayor of Beech Grove, wasn't he a firefighter before being mayor?
Oh, I don't know. Was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was, and so several others. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they always
Fact
make jokes
checker,
about the
Blake, can
cops.
you fact
Oh
check that?
yeah. Well, but it's, I always say we're one team, one fight. So
Yeah.
we go to a lot. Sometimes where I'm at with my station in Beech Grove, we go with PD a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So yeah, we develop a good relationship.
Yeah. Were you
with
ever
them.
on the what's the TV show that Beech Grove was on?
Oh, Patrol Live.
Patrol
or something
Live?
Like that. No, I
Didn't make
was
an
not.
appearance?
They filmed a couple times when
Yeah.
I was there, but never on it. So.
Man, I'm so nervous because I live in Beech Grove, and I've been pulled over a few times. I got a ticket a couple weeks ago. from Beech Grove.
No, you didn't.
No, I no longer got
We
it.
took care of
Okay,
that.
yeah, okay, good. Yeah, I was gonna say just.
But I was always nervous on Friday nights, like, hey, we're not driving around Beech Grove tonight because I'm not making the TV show.
Oh yeah, it was a whole weekend thing too. So
Yeah.
not just Friday, but it was the whole weekend.
Oh
yeah.
man, yeah, I just tried to avoid that. So then 22 years in the military. What'd you do with the
yeah.
military?
I started enlisted,
Okay.
and then I became an officer through ROTC. So
Yeah.
I became an artillery officer. So I did
Okay.
artillery for my whole career. So I'm
Yeah.
an artillery guy.
Do we need to speak up?
What? Huh? No. But I've been around through infantry, through the Cav guys. So I've been around through the whole state,
Yeah.
and then it was time to retire.
Yeah.
So because I started a not-for-profit organization with a retired IFD guy called Fire Vets, where we
Okay.
help firefighter veterans. It started off as a group within IFD, and
Mm-hmm.
then we took it over, and it's a kind of a peer-to-peer group.
Okay.
And we also help guys through the VA process because that's a convoluted process, or it can be.
Yeah.
And if you say the wrong thing, even if you have it, you could get denied claims. Or
Yeah.
even if you get a bad review or examiner, sometimes they just don't understand. And so we
Yeah.
just try to help guys navigate that. And really, I don't like to call it disability. It's compensation.
Mm-hmm.
We're never better from our time in the military. I mean, we all have stuff that come out, whether
Yeah.
it's physical or mental or anything. So we just want to get guys some compensation, not just monetary, because
Yeah.
there's other benefits that guys can get from, like kids
Yeah.
going to college for free, a whole bunch of other slew of stuff. Even using the VA clinic to help lose weight and things like
Yeah.
that.
So this nonprofit, it's for guys who are or people who are firefighters
And veterans,
and
yeah.
veterans.
Yeah,
Okay.
we just actually created a American Legion post that just got activated a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
Post 9/11.
Yeah.
So I thought it was very
Yeah.
serendipitous that it being available for us to
Yeah.
use. And so we've already been I've already had guys been reaching out to try to join
Okay.
this and get this bigger than
Yeah.
what it is.
So how can guys like find this? Where are you guys at online? Like, you got a website or what's the best way to connect?
We are in our infancy stages
Okay.
of this. So we do have, like, I have myself and my buddy, we have an email for all that.
Okay.
If they're on Facebook, that's
Yep.
been the biggest part where we get
Okay.
out resources. It's the Fire Vets group.
Okay.
So you do have to, not say not be invited, but you do have to apply because we ask questions. You
Right.
got to be a firefighter,
Yep.
in essence.
So if you're a firefighter and a vet,
Yep, absolutely.
Look up that
So,
group and-
yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you're a career or volunteer. We're all part of it. So.
Okay.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
I remember you told me about it. I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, 5 months ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is great. And then in Fight Club too, we had somebody that was with us that his son had recently come home. And you made it very clear. Have him reach out to me.
Yeah.
Have him reach out to me. I can help you navigate.
I love
the VA.
helping. I mean, that's
Yeah.
why I said my passion is serving. I mean, I
Right.
retired specifically because I switched from the Guard to Reserves because I felt like my career kind of stalled out,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was there for a year, and it wasn't where I wanted to be
Right,
anymore.
it was
I felt,
time.
Yeah.
So it felt like God calling me to say, "Hey, it's time to put it up and let take over." And I had to trust His plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been trying to trust His plan for the past year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Big changes though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy because as a military guy, when you say surrender, to trust His plan, you have to surrender.
Yeah.
You don't want to say surrender.
Yeah.
I was born with the never give up, never surrender,
Yeah.
never back down, and it's like I have to give up my life, my plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, did Nick tell you the topic for today?
I think we talked a little bit.
Okay.
about it.
All right. Well, this is
So-
kind of just like
What are we
rolling
talking
right
about?
into it. Yeah. So it's like stand shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, like
the
brotherhood.
importance
Yeah.
of
yeah.
brotherhood strengthens your
I was just
journey.
trusting God's plan that we'll go
That
right, we'll go
it
right
is
into
happening.
things. It's like you
You
sit in
know-
that chair, you don't examine it, you just sit down.
That is
Yeah.
true. Yep. Yeah. So brotherhood. So you have a unique perspective on this, right? Because obviously in your job, like you're depending on other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And both of your last jobs.
Yeah.
Or both of your jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because no one person can do everything. Because the one guy on the fire truck, so I'm on an engine. I don't know if a lot of people don't realize that there's different fire trucks for different tasks. So the engine has all the hoses. We hook up to the hydrant. We go in. We put the fire out.
Yeah.
There's guys that are the big ladders you see on those trucks.
Yeah.
Those are ladder trucks. I know, crazy definition.
Yeah.
So
Keep it simple, stupid.
exactly. Well, I mean, we joke with firemen.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but they have a task of like searching for victims, venting to help release the smoke out. A lot of other different types
Yeah.
of tasks.
Yeah.
But we can't do, one person can't do that on its
You're the first
on their
fireman on here to come in and give us a breakdown of the jobs.
No, I have questions now.
own. Oh, yeah, hey, I'm here.
So I see him rolling through downtown, and they have the guy driving on the back of the ladder.
That's the tiller. So
What
yeah,
is he doing?
So he's driving.
Okay.
So there's on that's that tiller truck. There's 2 drivers.
Okay.
And he has to drive. So when
He has to drive with no brake.
well,
Does he have a brake?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm not trained on
You
that.
haven't
one.
got in there yet.
No, I have not. I'm not certified on it. I just know that when the guy in the normal seat turns
Yeah.
left, he has to turn his wheel to the right,
Oh,
and it
wow.
allows for tighter turns and
He's
smaller.
gotta counter
areas.
everything.
Yes. So
Okay. Yeah, so they're really like depend on each other, communication.
Oh yeah,
and
you have
like-
to make sure that guy is back there, and
Yeah.
you got to trust him that he's swinging. If that guy's not back there, you just got a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
just swinging behind you. Can't say that hasn't happened.
Yeah,
in this
yeah,
industry, but-
yeah. Well, there's one on its hood not too long ago, right? It's like,
Yeah, it happens. So,
but that's just an interesting analogy, though. Like the trust you have to have with your brothers, right? To like,
yeah.
hey, we're navigating some tough streets, trying to get someplace quick.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, sometimes, like I said, we all have our SOPs. Same thing in the
Yeah.
military. Hey, these guys are going to do this if they're first on, or hey, this unit, as an infantry guys, trust that artillery guys
Yeah.
know how to shoot, and they're actually aiming,
Right.
aiming in the
Aiming
right
in the
spot.
direction.
Did that fire direction
Yeah.
officer calculate all that stuff correctly?
Yeah.
yeah,
Because that's huge.
yeah, yeah. The other part of brotherhood, I was thinking about this last night. That is true.
Yeah.
It's really like when you're weak is really when you need some brothers around you.
Oh,
And you can't
absolutely.
find them when you're weak. You
Oh,
need them
no.
before that, right?
No,
Right.
I've been going through Fight Club. I've started this, and
Yeah.
even going through now, the enemy has a dossier of what our weaknesses are.
Yeah.
And he pings those, and whether people know it or not, there's a spiritual battle going out there. So if you believe in angels and all that, you have to know that other side is out there, and they're out there lying in the shadows, coming out just enough, hitting you here, turning this knob here. Hey, you didn't have enough sleep at the fire department? Cool. Now I'm going to get your kids fighting together. Then you're going to get cut off. And then just these little things. And then they do these little tweaks. They step back and they let you blow up.
Yeah.
And if you don't have strong men to help you accountable when you're being attacked,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
man sharpens iron, we
Yeah,
sharpen each other.
We'll fail every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't peg it. It was in the last service I had, it's like where there's 2 men is great, and then where there's 3, it's like a corded braid. And
Yeah.
that really struck out to me. I'm good at knowing the verses, just sometimes
Yeah.
not knowing the address, but I just
Yeah.
thought of the visual of a corded braid and how tight that can be
Yeah.
if you're tight with each
Yeah.
other and
Yep.
with God.
Yeah, Ecclesiastes talks about that, like
That's it,
the
yeah.
importance of having like 3, even like a lot of times it's
Yeah.
back to back, got that, but then like even having like 3 guys, it makes a big difference how
Yeah.
strong it is.
Yeah.
Where have you found that in your life? Like, how have you gotten other guys around you?
It's really just been through Fight Club,
Yep.
Okay.
through different churches. Really, what was it? I feel I can't remember. It was one of I may have been Danny Earl. I think of early.
Daniel Earl?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
We're
love.
trying not to bring up his name
Oh
on
my
here.
God.
That dude's a
no,
character.
I love it.
He's
Yeah,
the star of the show.
He is great. But it was fantastic.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things that he had said something was like, he was asked because I saw Christ in you.
Yeah.
And I just realized that how many times that's happened because people have asked me things like, oh, probably because they saw Christ in me
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
they feel approachable. And that's just one of those, you kind of know with some people, like
Yeah.
with certain guys, that who to go to. But what you guys have talked in the past, find a mentor, find that older guy
Yeah.
because, that you can rely on and talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah, find somebody that's a little wiser than you.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's
in
easy for
any
Nick to do.
aspect.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, hilarious.
But sometimes you just need a buddy, and like I said, standing shoulder to shoulder. Like I said, when I talk to talk to veterans from the VA, especially so I'm like 42. When I enlisted in 02, it was suck it up, you don't need anything, you're fine. And then it's like, crap, I got a lot of stuff wrong with me. I didn't get
Yeah.
it documented. Or hey, I have PTSD, and that's to certain guys in my age, that realm, that's a dirty word.
it is.
Right.
It is like
Yep.
you mentioned that, and you were like, "Oh, you must be completely broken. We have no use for you." I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, absolutely not. It's a spectrum. It's just from things that, hey, I have some issues or things that can trigger me, but
Yep.
it's just stuff I got to manage and work through." And
Right.
crazy enough, we all have stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
We all have some what could be considered PTSD from
Yeah.
everyday life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, the way we were raised, the way we were brought up, to things that have happened in
Yeah.
life. And
But yeah, military plus with the fire department, it can trigger it a little bit more. Certain
Yeah.
things can, there's some overlap. That's the huge, is that there's some overlap, but it's recognizing it.
Yeah.
And trying to I go and talk to somebody.
Yeah.
That's what I just try to say. It's like, it's okay to say, it's okay to go and talk to somebody. And you're not any less of a man.
Yeah.
You got to swallow a little bit of pride.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you hold it all in, you're a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Especially,
really good way to put that.
yeah, pressure cooker.
Yeah.
And even like in your line of work, like you need some brothers around you that probably know specifically what you're going through. That's
Oh,
what's
yeah,
cool about your
absolutely.
nonprofit.
Oh, yeah,
like
absolutely,
that's a very
yeah.
unique group, like that are veterans and also service firefighters, but
Yeah.
a group that's seen a lot.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah, because a lot of times, I mean, military guys don't want to talk to anybody else but
Yeah.
military.
Yeah.
And
Right.
even more so if you're a firefighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I remember I did a ride along with a police officer when I was early 20s, and he worked night shift. It's the first time I seen firefighters in action. Other than when I was a kid, one time I went around to different fire stations. They were playing video games, and I thought that'd be the greatest job in the world.
That still happens. So
That's
it
it,
still
yeah.
happens, yeah.
And they went on this accident. This guy was, it was a fatality, and I just remember the firefighters just pulling this dead guy out of the car, and then like I was scarred. Like it was like the worst thing I seen in the world at 20 years old, and it's like they're just going back and going to bed.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not the only thing they're going to do today.
Oh, yeah. There's been plenty of times where I've been on certain runs, which is pretty bad, like
Yeah.
medically, and then we just go back to dinner.
Yeah.
Or it's time to,
Right.
But certain times, like it may take me a while.
Yeah.
For me or other
you kinda
guys,
decompress a
it
little
takes
bit later.
maybe
Yeah.
an hour or so, or like we get back from a working fire at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
and we just sit up for a little bit, have coffee because we're just trying to decompress. And
Yeah.
we just kind of talk through and run through. We're kind of AAR it, really.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and importance of like having the brothers there to talk to and the family. So you even see that in scripture though, when the guys would go to battle, it's always interesting. Like when you look at Old Testament law, they would have to like this time of ceremonial, getting themselves clean before they went back. And some of that people's always like, yeah, it's like the physical part. But I think a lot of that was the mental part as well. Like
Oh, yeah.
these guys have been at battle in a different era of battle, like where you're hand to hand combat
yeah.
with clubs.
A battle's
knocking
like
people out. Yeah.
battle could last like 5 days,
Right,
not
right,
just
yeah.
like, we're gonna push a button, throw some missiles, we're good.
Yeah. And so before they go back to their house with their wife and kids, like you're going to hang out here for a little bit. It's like, yeah, that makes sense, right? That brotherhood that you
Yeah,
need there. So.
but part of that brotherhood too is part of that support system and shoulder is the support that you have with your family. Like for me, I've got an amazing wife. Like
Yeah.
and all this like too.
Is she a listener? Is that what you're saying?
I can't say that she is, so she may listen to this one. But no, she's been fantastic through it
Yeah.
all, and I wouldn't be as successful I am without her because she runs like the family and with the kids, and she's the keeper of the calendar. I just help execute it because my military mindset, I'm like, this has got to get done, this, and this. Don't be late.
Yeah.
And she's just like, all right, I'm just going to schedule it, and I'll get there when I get there.
Yeah.
But she helps me out because she's worked in pediatric disabilities,
Okay.
and so she's huge on getting people help in that aspect.
Awesome.
And all that stuff. So she's researched all the VA stuff. So she really just says, hey, you could get that. They could get this, and this. So usually, if I'm on the phone, she's right behind me. It's like, hey, do they have this? And like, or hey, make sure they can get this connected,
Yeah.
or get this.
Yeah,
and
but
this.
that's great. I mean, look at
Yeah.
that teamwork you guys.
Oh, yeah.
you know,
It's
that's
yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah, so she keeps me up to date on stuff because
Right.
like the whole goal for that fire vet stuff with our own Legion post is to have a dedicated veteran service officer to coach all these guys through.
Yeah.
So that way we can have a specific guy to help with just those special firefighter needs.
Yeah. If guys want to support this, like financially, is that something they can do?
I have not got to that yet.
Okay,
So
all right.
Here's a running GoFundMe.
like I said, right now
Okay.
it's been I do it because I do it free because it's
Yeah,
not something I felt like I needed to get paid
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
But I would say just if you want to support it, join a Legion.
Yeah.
And help other veterans out because there's other other Legion posts. They have Sons of the Legion. So if you're a family member who's in Legion, you can join an auxiliary. They have a Women's Legion auxiliary. So Legion has a whole bunch of other groups that you can get involved in. There's like posts I feel like everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
So it's just finding the right one and the right group to
Yep.
get out. So that's how I say support. It's just find your local Legion and use God-given talent to help serve.
Yeah. This has been encouraging because we talk so much about brotherhood.
Right.
And this episode's been a way to like kind of see someone living that out.
Yep.
Even your guys'
Yeah.
friendship, right, came out of an
I-
intentional, not Bible study, fight club.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a Bible study.
Yeah,
I mean,
About-
at the end
yeah.
of the day,
it's a non-traditional
Yeah.
Yeah.
study. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is like I don't even see it like that. I just feel like it's just
Yeah, you're just going to hang out.
Go and
on
hang out.
Tuesday
and
night
hang
or
out.
whatever
Yeah.
your night is.
Yeah.
and it's
Every
just-
3 days, I'm
Yeah.
getting up and I'm maybe dropping the kids off at school. I'm getting to work and switching out and.
Yeah, but it was a choice and a commitment you guys made to do it, right? Like it's not always easy,
Right.
Right. The easier thing's not to build relationships.
Well, I think
So
that's just it. It's
a
like,
commitment
so
to
they
it.
have like a kickoff at like midnight where you show up. And I went, and the guy that was supposed to sign up with me didn't go. and then I don't think Ross showed up.
I didn't know
but
about
his
it.
uncle did.
I didn't know about it. Yeah.
You went with your uncle, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
you went with your uncle. Your uncle showed up, so now it's just me and this guy. We're just wandering around because we're the only ones there. And I'm like, hey. He's like, hey. And we kind of hit it off and kind of started a relationship there, too. And then, and then that's kind of where I met you is, at the first meeting, second meeting, whatever it was. And it's like, okay.
So my uncle was going through kind of a rough time.
Yeah.
And it was like my wife kind of, hey, why don't you do this with him?
Yeah.
And I was like, what is it? And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's just a dad's group, and we're going to probably go and talk about dad stuff. And I'm like, okay, I get there. I'm like, this is not what I signed up for.
This is not a dad's
at
group.
all.
Yeah.
And then I was like, then I just fell in love with it, just
Yeah.
what it was about and what it was doing. I was like, this.
Man, watching guys change
Yeah.
and be changed from it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that
exactly
was
what
huge.
it's exactly what I needed.
Yep.
And she said, I can tell when you're not in Fight Club.
Yeah.
Because
That's funny. My wife said the same thing.
Yeah.
She's like, you should do another one.
I've
Well,
been saying that.
I will say I got to plug Fight Club. The registration starts and kickoff is the 14th of March.
Okay.
So
Great.
get signed up with that. So
Like 2 years after the first one that I did.
yeah. So, but yeah, it's great, and I've met some great guys through it,
Yeah.
and I'm getting a whole bunch of other guys that are the dads and men that are friends with my kids, and a couple other guys from the fire department.
Awesome.
And they say, hey, come and join us.
Yeah. Funny enough, Dion reached out to me today.
Really?
Yeah. He wants to go to the barn gathering that we're doing here April 25th. And
This is a good time to talk about that.
yeah, he said, I'm going to need a ride. And I was like, yeah, you're going to need a lot more than a ride.
I'd love to see him drive.
Yeah, right. I would not like to see it.
You know about Dion?
I do not.
He's
so.
blind.
Okay.
First off.
Oh,
so
okay.
that's why I said he's going to need a ride.
Not only is he blind, he's blind and he won't wear glasses.
Okay.
So and he knows it. And we
Can't
talked
see
about
himself
it.
wearing them, right?
Right, but
Yeah.
he gets his googly eyes, so his eyes start moving different directions because they're not working. And I talked some trash to him about it. I was like, dude, you got to get some sunglasses because I try and look you in the eye and it just doesn't work when
Just
I
don't
talk
know
to
where
you.
to look, right?
Exactly. And,
Well, bring him to the barn gathering.
yeah, I'll bring him to the barn gathering.
25th.
April
If you guys
25th.
haven't signed up, make sure you do it. It's at Bell Union, Indiana, about 40 minutes west of Indy.
Yep.
We're going to write a mission statement for your life
Yeah.
that night.
It'll be a good time.
Yeah.
You're going to write a mission statement for your life.
I'm not going to write it for
Oh,
you.
no. You do. That's one of those things. Pray about it. Ask God,
Yeah.
hey, what's my mission in here?
Yep.
And then it kind of writes itself. If you
does.
think about it, you like I said, talking about trusting God's plan. That mission statement writes
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
So you'll get a lot of reborn men, maybe.
Hopefully, we're
Yeah.
excited about it. Because you're using the talents God has given you. He's put a unique perspective, right, in the military, firefighter, and you've used those gifts, and you have a mission now starting this nonprofit.
Yeah.
And so we feel like every guy has like a unique path, and how to use that unique path to minister
Right.
for the kingdom.
And it's not easy.
No.
I'm stressed with like trying to get the right guys in the right place.
Yep.
But if you're trusting His plan, He'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Yep, just keep rolling.
yep.
Just,
So we have a lightning round
step
at the
at a
end
time.
where we ask some questions.
All right.
One would be, who would play you in a movie?
I would say probably Channing Tatum or Jude Law would probably be my
Okay.
top two for that. So,
And it might be the first time I've heard Jude Law.
Yeah.
yeah. So.
Being at the firehouse, I'm sure you do your fair share of cooking.
I do.
Do you recommend a cooking utensil or something, smoker, grill, something?
Cookbook.
A cookbook.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, because there's a lot of brand new recruits that come on and they can't cook. So,
Oh, really?
yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I just thought everybody could cook.
No,
I came from-
there's guys that have been on for
Yeah.
a while and they can't cook. They need to cook.
Okay.
No, it's just one of those. It's just we tell guys to have a good go-to recipe.
Yeah.
Whether you need a crock pot or do you want a
Okay.
spatula?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
smokers usually work really well too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, just curious,
grill.
get some
Good
different
question.
perspectives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
a lot of good grilling happens, especially in the summertime.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
Yeah, if we see you out grilling, can we just stop in? Is that
Yeah,
how that works?
absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah, now that we know where you're at.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay, is there a book you'd recommend to guys?
I've got a few.
Okay.
Probably they've got mostly come from Fight Club. So,
Okay.
what the one I'm reading is recommended from Daniel Early was Wild at Heart by John.
Oh, John
Bradford.
Eldridge.
Yeah,
Eldridge.
John Eldridge.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm in the middle of that right now.
Okay.
And man, oh man, is God speaking to me through that right now, and it is fantastic. And then I would follow that one up with Beautiful Outlaw, which we read through Fight Club.
Yeah, I recommend that one too.
Mm-hmm. And then The Lies Men Believe. I can't remember the author; it's slipping me right now, but it was a Fight Club book, and it was different lies, the things that how we believe them, why we believe them, and how to overcome them too. And it's just a lot of the different stuff we face in everyday man's life.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
Nice.
You ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Who would play you in history? No. Someone
who
you
would
want
you
to
like
Maybe
to
in
meet in
history.
history?
Ooh, that's a different one.
Someone you'd want to meet from history, not Jesus.
Oh man, there's a lot of good ones there because there's a lot of good military generals that I'd love to meet from different time periods, like with George C. Marshall or
You got to pick just one.
or Grant, man. And then there's half the times
Gotta pick one from each time period.
Yeah.
We might be here another
Yeah, I know, right?
5 minutes.
I'll honestly, I think I'd want to go talk to Paul.
Paul. Okay.
Yeah, just because he changed. I mean, he did a 180 in his life, and then it wasn't easy from there. And I just want to say, how did you trust in God's plan to go back in these places, and then you were labeled one thing, and then how did you go and live your life as a Christian? And how'd you change that?
I've always thought about that with Paul. The dude's literally kicking in doors and dragging Christians to jail. Then all of a sudden he shows up. He goes, "Hey, I'm one of you."
Right.
Yeah. Right?
Hey,
What
I'm
would
not
that
doing
be
that
like?
anymore.
Right?
Wait a second.
Yeah.
We knew all the shenanigans you just did. How can we forgive you on this one? How did you get past all that?
And then even maybe, and I know all his shame and everything was left across like everyone else, but that feeling you'd have to overcome of how people have labeled you versus the label Christ is now given you. Yeah. That'd be a good one.
Yep. I agree.
We appreciate you coming on.
Oh, man, thanks
if
for
there's a
having
way
me.
we can get behind your nonprofit in the future, we'd love
I just
to.
put it out there.
Will do.
That's what we'll do.
So,
We'll check it out on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah,
and
then
then
we got that Facebook
we
group.
can
So
check out Tough Men of Faith on the socials, and then
Yep.
we can plug your what's it called?
Fire Vets.
Fire Vets.
Yep.
All right.
So I always plug Tough Men of Faith whenever I do.
I know you
Fight
do.
Club.
I think it's
Every
awesome.
time I say go check this out and go listen to some other ones. 'Cause
These guys are a couple of idiots, but they're fun.
they're really
All right. Well, thanks again for coming on.
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah.